Right, so Mike Perry has made the headlines by being Mike Perry somewhere in America late at night after a few drinks. And I'll be honest with you guys, before we even get into this video, and it was a very good video that came out, a lot of stuff was on there, including a KO, and there was an altercation, and there was some other stuff that happened that was very memeable and very Mike Perry-ish as well. But one thing I do want to say, before I get into reacting to this headline and reacting to the recent news that's surrounding Mike Perry in the world, this is indefensible, like inexcusable behavior, an absolute disgrace to society. I don't care how old you are. Nobody puts their fucking hands on Platinum Mike Perry, and that's final. Okay, I'm joking, guys. But even still, Mike Perry's out there having a few drinks, minding his own business, assaulting a few people. And then one more guy comes along, you know, tries to get a little bit fresh with Platinum, and then Platinum... I'm joking, guys. Either way, very, very disgraceful behavior from Platinum Mike Perry. Not nice whatsoever. However, I'm not shocked. I'll be honest with you guys. When the Conor McGregor news came out and he gave that love tap, basically, in comparison to what Mike Perry has just done to this old man, McGregor's is seeming pretty good, because McGregor was sitting there. I mean, it's a little bit worse in the McGregor case because the guy was minding his own business. He just refused a drink, and maybe he said something to Conor McGregor, but whatever he said to Conor McGregor, it did not warrant a punch in the face. But either way, I was shocked when I saw the news that McGregor had done this to a man in Ireland as well. That was very shocking. When I saw this headline about Mike Perry, I hate to say it, but a smile crept on my face, because it's Mike Perry. I've kind of been calling this downfall of his career for a very, very long time, and we might have another war machine on our hands, and a lot of people have been saying that recently in the comment sections of these videos, and online, everyone's tweeting about having another war machine on their hands. I fucking started saying that like a year ago, like a very, very long time ago, when I watched UFC 244, which I believe was in November of 2019. The view party that they did with Mike Perry and his family and his old girlfriend, Platinum Princess, sitting on the sofa, I got a vibe from Mike Perry that something bad was going to happen in his life. And I've been calling this for a long time. We got a War Machine 2.0. However, let's get to the bottom of things. There seems to be a situation with older people where they think that just because they're old, no one's going to hit them back. Maybe he didn't know just how much of a nut job Mike Perry was, but still, the old guy in this, and there's a reason why Mike Perry's gotten off very, very lightly in this situation. I mean, think of all the things that happened with Conor McGregor. I mean, he didn't really get off that badly with the situation, but still, like, his name got dragged through the mud for a very long time after what he did in that pub in Ireland. However, Mike Perry is only going to be potentially paying a $500 fine for a misdemeanor, because when you really think about things, and I hate to get into the legalities here, the guy went after Mike Perry first. I know Mike Perry might have been in an altercation before that as well, but then again, Mike Perry comes out and says, like, he's actually got a decent case in court as to why he should not go to prison for this. Like, because, think about it, an assault is a real crime. Like, you can do time in jail for assault. But he's been given a $500 fine for a misdemeanor. That tells me that the police, although it might be a little bit of a grey area, Mike Perry might have a little bit of a defense for himself, because he did mention that the guy was stepping within his personal distance when they're supposed to be social distancing. Technically, that is not liked in the society right now that we live in, with this whole Rona syndrome going round. So that's a little bit of a situation for Mike Perry. So if the guy is really up in Mike Perry's face, and Mike Perry pushes his face away, which was what the witness of the event said, and then his girlfriend gets involved and starts clawing in Mike Perry's eyes, and then Mike Perry pushes her away, and then there's this whole altercation where he has to get out of the pub, Mike Perry seems somewhat okay after all of this. I know his reputation is going to take a big hit, but then again, what was Mike Perry's reputation? McGregor's reputation was a bit of a madman, but the hero of Ireland. Mike Perry's reputation was being a dumb guy that does dumb stuff and is funny because of it. I don't know if this is going to really rip Mike Perry down from the pedestal he was standing on. He's hardly fucking Nelson Mandela. Now, he's the same race as Nelson Mandela, as we know. But, like, you know, we're not looking at no Mahatma Gandhi, whatever his first name is. Gandhi. We're not looking at that. We're looking at Mike Perry. So I don't really know how much of an impact this is going to have on his career. I actually think it will do the very opposite. He will pay his $500 fine, and he will most likely end up in another co-main event because his name is only going to be bigger after all of this. The old guy went at Mike Perry, though. I'm not warranting that someone should punch an old man in the face. I think if you're not man enough to just step down from a fight with an old man because you don't want to hurt him, then that's something that's really a telling sign of your character, that you can't hold your emotions in enough to where you have to attack an old man. Like, if an old man came at someone, or came at me, I'd just be like, okay, it's an old guy, I'm just going to avoid the situation. I don't want to be the guy, because even if you win a fight with an old man, you've just beaten up an old man, so there's no winner, you know? It's just not a really good situation. But Mike Perry's going to be in a little bit of trouble for a while. His girlfriend's probably not going to be too happy with him, because he was screaming at her amongst screaming the N-word over and over and over again. But then again, like with the assault of the old man at the end, the third victim of the assault, because assault is a very loosely used word, the first two were pushes from Mike Perry, as far as witnesses are saying. I've read through the article. The first two were pushes at people getting in his personal space, and a girl trying to claw at his eyes, which was the girlfriend of the first victim of assault that happened. Mike Perry pushed her away as well, pushed another guy in the face, and then the old guy was the real assault situation where he actually threw a punch at someone. But in that instance, the guy literally lunged for him. Like, he was mocking Mike Perry. Mike Perry said, so what, old man, you fat bitch, I'll knock you out. Or so. I can't help but laugh it. I know it's a terrible situation, but this is so Mike Perry, man. Like, I'm surprised we haven't seen more video of this going on with Mike Perry. Like, I think there's going to be a downward spiral. Who knows what's going to happen next? I'm worried about that. You know, we could genuinely have another war machine on our hands. However, I don't think it's going to go that far. But the guy did lunge at Mike Perry. And old people have this narrative where, because they're old, oh, I'm old, no one's going to hit me back. Like, maybe do a quick Google search, you know, take a picture of Mike Perry, send it to your old people group chat, have you seen this man? And then they will tell you very calmly, stay the hell away, that's Platinum Mike Perry. Please don't lunge at him, grabbing at his neck, or he might decide to punch you. And Mike Perry got the punch in. It was, you shouldn't be punching old men. Even if an old man's grabbing you, I think I'd still be trying to talk myself out of that situation, because there is no winning a fight against an old man. There's just a lose-lose situation. But still, he'd obviously had a bit to drink. He was organising some kind of threesome as well, by the looks of things, because he had two girls with him the whole time. But then the worst thing about it was that his own threesome compadre, you know, one of the members of the threesome musketeers that they were setting up right there, the Platinum Musketeers, one of them turned on Mike Perry. The girl that wasn't his original girlfriend turned on Mike Perry at the end and said, no, you're in the wrong here. Which is never a good sign. When someone who's supposed to be on your team defending you the whole way through and is probably on the way to having a threesome with you and your girlfriend, turns on you and tells you that you're the problem, maybe Mike Perry was acting very out of line. And I think that's a very big bit of evidence that not a lot of people are talking about. But still, he's not going to go down hard. I don't think this is the crumbling of Mike Perry's career that a lot of these media members seem to be talking about. I don't think this is the end of Mike Perry and, he's going to go to jail and do jail time. Because according to the law, he's actually okay here. I know he reacted disproportionately, which I'm assuming is what the $500 fine is for. But the guy lunged at him. The other guy got in his face when people were supposed to be social distancing, and he pushed that guy away. Then the girl of the guy that he pushed originally, the second victim of assault, clawed at his eyes, and then Mike Perry pushed her away, and that's when this whole altercation started and the camera turned on, and then the guy lunges at him. Like, it seems like Mike Perry has, even though he might have been very in the wrong for acting the way he did, I don't think he's going to go down too hard. Like, they're saying that at most he's going to be facing a $500 fine. That is a minor, and Mike Perry has come out all force. I think, you know what's going to happen worse for Mike Perry? Is the N-word stuff. I don't think the assault is going to be the biggest part of this whole situation, because in the current climate of the world, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention any key words here because I don't want my channel to be demonetized. But in the current climate of the world right now, it might not be the smartest idea, Mike Perry, and this is maybe why it's Mike Perry doing these things. It might not be the greatest idea in the world to look the complexion of skin color that you are, that regardless of how much ink you have on your face, it's not covering up the skin underneath it, Mike Perry, to be screaming the N-word over and over and over again. Now, I know what you're going to tell me, and this is another thing, like Mike Perry punched a guy, but the guy lunged at him, the girl was trying to claw his eyes out, that's why he pushed her. Mike Perry said the N-word, but, you know, he's black. So there's a bit of a defense as well. I actually think the N-word stuff is going to get him in the most trouble here, because that is going to be something that's going to... Listen, it starts as a bit of a joke, but then when Perry fuels into his own meme of saying the word over and over and over again, eventually it's going to start slipping out in the wrong situations in anger, and that's exactly what it's done here. That word is going to start being heard a lot more from Mike Perry, I feel like, because listen, he was screaming that word over and over and over again. I think I saw a black guy there, and nothing seemed to happen. You know, I haven't seen this massive attack at Mike Perry to try and bring down the racist platinum monster of Mike Perry. I haven't seen anything like that, but I feel like in a few days' time, people are going to start coming after Mike Perry for using the N-word, more than in fact the assault. I know a lot of people are reacting hugely to this, and I'm no longer a fan of Mike Perry. If you were ever a fan of Mike Perry, this is kind of what you signed up for. Like when Darren Till had the altercation in, whenever he stole the taxi. Well, he didn't actually steal the taxi, but he was in the back of a stolen taxi that his friend had stolen and driven around the block, and he trashed a hotel room. I kind of knew that eventually something like this was going to happen. He's a young guy. He's a chavvy scouser. You know, he's now got a lot of money. Something bad is going to happen along the line, and it didn't really shock me. Like, if Holly Holm ended up head-kicking an old woman, I'd be, like, furious at her, because that's not Holly Holm. But listen, Mike Perry gets in a bit of a screaming match at a bar, and someone lunges at him, and he gives him a KO punch. It's not good, but it's like, it's Mike Perry, you know? That's just Mike Perry. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't think I'm going to sit here. Imagine if I came out and made a video just trashing Mike Perry, because, I don't know. It's just weird how they phrase the headlines of these things. You know, like the guy who originally posted it, MMA Egypt, had an Irish flag as well in his name. Mike Perry in a bar fight last night over someone touching him, in quotation marks. This is pretty disgusting behaviour from a UFC caliber fighter, acting like a complete child. Yeah, it's Mike Perry. And now it's got 1.2 million views. And let me check his Instagram real quick, because last time I checked he was at how many followers? Last time I checked he was at 520 followers, 520k. He's now at 568k followers. I don't know what to say here, man. It's not a good look for Mike Perry. It's Mike Perry. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to see more and more often. I just very much hope that this doesn't then turn into something a bit worse. Because this kind of behaviour, especially if he gets away with it, because he is getting away with it, because, you know, he's kind of got a bit of an alibi in all of the situations as far as I'm reading so far. He's only going to face a $500 fine for just being a bit of a public mischief and having a misdemeanor. Once you get away, I think a little bit of a punishment should be given to Mike Perry here. More than the $500. And this is how I'll end the video, so you know I'm still human and I have some kind of moralistic standpoint here, viewpoint here. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But I think you should be given a little bit more of a punishment. And I'm always a fan of community service. Little bit of community service, bring you down to everyone else's level, let you know just where you sit in society. You're not this guy bigger than everyone else. Like when John Jones didn't get any prison time for what he's done over and over and over again and just faced a bit of a fine. Fines for these UFC fighters, first of all, if Perry thought the tax man was taking all of his money, wait till he gets to court receipts, because they're coming for his money as well now, and it's a 2v1. Pretty unfair for Mike Perry, but you could say he's put himself in this situation, but still. Little bit of community service. Maybe a couple weeks of community service for Mike Perry. Just let him know, because $500 is just nothing to these guys. Like, Mike Perry made $90,000 to show, $90,000 to win against Mickey Gall. Think he cares about $500? That's not a punishment enough. With John Jones, make him do community service. I mean, he's kind of already doing it himself, so maybe that would backfire because he'd actually like doing it. I don't know. Maybe don't let John Jones do community service and ban him from helping out the streets of Albuquerque, New Mexico. But still, give Mike Perry a little bit of a more punishment, I would say, especially from the UFC's point of view, because it's not the best look to be having your fighters that you have prided yourselves on having, these trained killers, and then when they're out in the streets, they're causing all kinds of mischief and using their techniques on old men. Maybe the UFC should punish Mike Perry a little bit, you know? You know what? I don't even know if we could get into that, but maybe the UFC should kind of double down on giving him some kind of... Just sort something out where Mike Perry gets punished more than the $500. Otherwise, he's going to think he's going to keep getting away with it. And listen, once you charge someone $500 for a misdemeanor assault, that's how much assault costs to them. You know? Once you place a value and a fine, this is why fines never work. And I'm getting a little bit serious here at the end. But this is why fines never work in criminality. If you give someone $500 for assaulting someone and fine them for it, it places a value on it. And when you place a value on a crime, instead of just a punishment on a crime, someone's going to start weighing up their odds. So next time Mike Perry's in an altercation when someone's screaming at him, he's not going to be thinking, oh, do I or do I not go to jail by punching this guy? Should I risk it? Should I not? I don't want to go to jail, but this guy's really pissing me off. Maybe I'll risk it for a few months. He's going to now be thinking, this guy's screaming in my face. Is this punk worth $500? And that's when the downfall of someone begins. And I think the moral of this story is, Perry ruined a threesome. Click that button there. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. See you later.